Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Dr. Holly Mays. Let me see if I can get this straightened up. There we go. Listen, just want to come on again. Dr. Holly Mays with amazing results. Really want to come on and really help a group of people with a few things that I've been getting text messaged on, and they've sent me emails on. And this is how to handle a spousal objection. How to handle a spousal objection. Listen, I told a couple of my guys, I said, well, listen, I'm not going to do the Holly thing and go rogue. So I'm going to kind of strategize how we can handle this objection. So for some of y'all that have just joined us, if you've never seen me do a close, you're going to hear it now. Okay. So if you're a fitness manager, assistant fitness manager, district fitness manager, personal trainer, and this is one of the objections that you get and you have a problem dealing with, I'm going to get you through that, okay? So the first thing we want to do when we're identifying a spousal objection is, well, let me go back. I want to ask a question. Why didn't you handle this before you got it? Okay? Oh, no. Why didn't you handle this before you get it? Listen, sales 101, before you get the objection, you need to try to handle it, because is it better to get it and not handle it, or already handle it when you get it? Does that make sense? So we want to make sure that while you're doing your sales presentation, when you're doing your PARQ, welcome workout card, whatever have you, you go ahead and identify the issue prior to. Let me tell you what that looks like, okay? Go ahead and get a pen and paper, write this down, okay? The first thing you need to do is you need to ask, is the person married? If you're sitting down talking to a person and you don't know whether they're married, whether they're in a relationship, male or female, whatever the case may be, if you haven't already identified that, you've already lost, okay? You're going to get beat up at the end with this objection, okay? But you have to identify first, are you married, okay? Are you in a relationship, okay? Once you find out that they're in a relationship, awesome. Will your spouse be coming to the gym? Or will your spouse be doing personal training sessions? Whatever the case may be. Once they identify yes or no, this will let you know how to move with handling the objection, whether you get it or not. All right. So let's kind of role play a little bit. So you have a member come in, they're sitting down, and they say, hey, we're answering questions about goals. They're asking questions about the last time they've been in the gym, medical conditions, whatever the case may be. And you hit them with the question, hey, are you married? Are you in a relationship? And they say, no. All right. Now, this doesn't happen a lot, but no, I'm not in a relationship. Awesome. So there's no reason why you would make a decision not to better your health, or not to have a strategy to hit these goals, or not to have a strategy to get off the medication. Is that correct? Awesome. So no matter what, as long as you make the decision, you're good to go. Awesome. What did I just do there? Okay. I isolated them from not being able to say, I need to go call a friend, or I need to go call my spouse, or I need to talk to mom or dad, or whatever the case may be. All right. Because I'm telling you now, people will come out of the woodwork when they find out, oh my God, there's money attached to this. Oh, I don't make all my own decisions all of a sudden. So you can isolate that from the beginning by two simple things. One, identifying whether they're in a relationship or not. Number two, if they tell you, no, I'm not in a relationship, awesome. So what I'm hearing is there's nothing that will stop you, or nobody that will stop you from making a decision on you reaching your goals today. Is that correct? Awesome. Now, if they come back and say, well, I'm married, I got my wife. Awesome. Few simple questions I want you to ask, okay? Question one is, does your spouse know you are here? Or girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever. Do they know you are here? Well, yeah, Holly, they know I'm here. Okay, awesome. Do they know why you're here? Okay. Well, yeah, they know why I'm here. Okay, awesome. So have you discussed with them the goals that me and you just discussed? Well, yeah, they know my goals. Okay, great. So obviously we know how much you feel about, hitting your goals. Do they feel the same way? Well, yeah, Holly. Or no, Holly, they don't. If they say no, then awesome. So certainly they don't understand how important this is to you. But let me ask you a question. If you hit your goal, will they reach the benefit? Or will they get the benefit of you reaching your goal? Well, yeah, Holly. I mean, I have more energy. I'll look better, feel better. Oh, okay, great. So even though they don't have an interest in your goal, they still benefit from your goal. Okay, great. Do you think they would love benefiting if you won? Well, yeah, Holly. Okay, great. So they would do nothing to stop you from hitting this goal because it's just not now about you, it's about them as well. Is that correct? Awesome. You see what I just did there? Okay, we're isolating the objection before we get the objection. We're getting a commitment before we get the commitment. Does that make sense? Now, if they say, "Oh yeah, she's head over heels about my goals. She knows my goals. She supports me on my goal." Awesome, awesome. So what I'm hearing from you is that because your spouse is just like my spouse, your spouse wouldn't do anything to stop you from reaching this goal. Is that correct? Well, yeah, Holly. Okay, great. So no matter what you chose to do today, okay, no matter how it goes, as long as you are in alignment with what you need to do to hit your goal, your spouse is okay, right? Awesome. You see what we just did there? So now, if we get to a price, big or small, they can't say, well, I need to go talk to my spouse. Hold on. Okay? Hold on. Because, John, that's not what you just told me. Okay, now let me tell you a little rule of thumb when it comes to handling objections. Sometimes we get emotional when we handle objections, and we need to stop that. Okay, quit being emotional. Let me explain to you why. One, it's not your money. Okay, why would you get emotional about someone else's income or financial structure? It's not your money. Okay, so never get emotional when you're doing objection handling. Okay, number two, whether they say yes or whether they say no, let me help you with this, does not intrinsically help you. Does that make sense? If they say, well, nah, I can't do this, it's too much, who's hurt the most by this? Them or you? If they're on medication or they're dealing with injuries or, they're trying to get back in the gym because maybe, hey, I don't feel as flexible as you, whatever, psychologically, hey, I want to build my confidence, whatever the case may be. If they tell you no, who is hurt the most by this? You or them? So when you go into handling objections, you have to understand, wait just a second, I'm simply a liaison. Too many times we approach with trying to convince. Don't convince anyone, because whose idea does it have to be? I've said this in a previous video. It has to be their idea. So don't convince someone to do it. Simply use the data and the conversation and information that you have obtained throughout your conversation with them. Does that make sense? Okay, so if someone says, hold on, that's $150 bi-weekly, that's $600 a month. In your mind, as a person who is a liaison towards the experts, who are the experts? The experts are the trainers. They're the trainers. You are not the expert. Too many times I see salespeople trying to be training experts. You are not the expert. You are the gateway to the expert. And you have to understand that you have to play your role. So your role is, hey, listen, I'm not here to tell you what exercises to do. I'm not here to tell you how to do it or check your form. My job is to get enough data to be able to put you with the right person that will equip you with a program and a strategy and a system that will help put you in alignment with hitting these goals. Does that make sense? That's the mentality. That's how you come into this thing. So when someone tells you, whoa, 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 that's too much money, completely understand. Completely understand that. Okay? Always agree with them. Completely understand. Because I understand money don't grow on trees. Okay? But let me ask you a question. Is it the money? This is where you isolate the objection. Is it the money, which is what you have to pay today, or is it the monthly, which is what you have to pay in 30 days or in 2 weeks? Okay? Because let me explain why we're splitting that. Okay? And this is an alternative choice. Okay? The reason why, is because you may be okay with the bi-weekly payment or the monthly payment. The only thing is you don't have $200 today, $49 today, $100 today. Okay? So I need to know, is it the startup or is it the payments that's the problem? And regardless to what they're saying, they'll give you an answer. I don't want to get into that because that's not the objection that we're doing right now. which is a financial objection. I think I've done that in a video. And if you want to do that, just like type in the comments, hey, Holly, how do you handle financial objection? Then no harm, no foul. I'll shoot you a video and I got you. But if the issue is, wait, hold on, I like the 2 time a week, I like the 1 time a week, I like the 3 time a week for hours, 30 minutes, whatever the case may be, guess what? I need to go talk to my spouse. This is where you pull out all your data from the previous conversation that you had with this member. And this is when you call a chicken a chicken. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes we don't want to call a chicken a chicken. We want to call a chicken a duck. No, hold on. You told me earlier that if you made a decision to do something, that you would need your wife's permission or you would need your husband's permission, not because they're not valid in the conversation, but because y'all are in alignment with whatever it is you are going to do, and you're in alignment with why you're here in the first place. So if you made a decision to do this, y'all are operating as one. Now, if that's not the case, and I misunderstood you, this is where the rubber meets the road. This is where you're going to have to kind of grow up here, and you can't get emotional, and you have to realize it's not your money, and you shouldn't be emotional about someone else's decision. But this is when you say to them, well, so did I misunderstand you? Or are we bringing out a different quality about your spouse that we did not talk about earlier? Well, no, I just, family decisions, I just like to make decisions with her. Great. But she knows you're here, right? According to us talking earlier, she knows you're here, right? So she do know that when you came here today, it was to change your life. It was to better whatever health deficiency, whatever injury, whatever psychological issue that you're dealing with. She knew that, right? So no matter what you leave here today with, her expectation based on our earlier conversation was that you were coming here and you were to leave here with a strategy, a system, and a structure to change your life. Is that correct? Well, yeah. Oh, okay, great. So if I called her, this is cold-blooded, y'all. This is cold-blooded. If I called her right now to let her know what we have decided to do to change your life, but the reason you will not do it was because of her, what do you think she would say? And then be quiet. I know this is unorthodox, people. I get it. But I'm telling you how to call people's bluff, okay? I'm telling you how to really be invested in someone wanting to change their life. Because let me explain something to you. Do not spend time with someone who does not want to spend enough time in fixing them. Okay? You can't want it better, if that's even a word. You can't want it more than the client. You just can't. So at the end of the day, if I had a conversation with you and you're still going to use your wife or your husband as a barrier from changing your life, especially if the tools that are being presented to you are the things you need to help get fixed, like accountability, structure, consistency. But you're saying, no, I'll do it on my own, or the gatekeeper, I need to go talk to my husband. I need to go talk to my spouse. Then maybe that member is not serious. Now, there's a difference. You can't sell to people who are not serious. Okay? You cannot close people who are not serious. This will help you divide between a person that's serious and a person that's talking. All right? So it goes back to it. So if I called your wife now and let her know, hey, John has told me everything that he's going through. John has told me everything he's trying to do. It's been a while since he did it. He says you are on board. He says, hey, he wants to get his confidence level, and the person that would be impacted the most would be you. It would be a happier home, because we know happy wife equals happy life. And the only reason he will not pull the trigger today is because of you. What do you think she'd say? What do you think he'd say? And be quiet. Because the next answer that they give is going to be the truthful answer. So here's what you're probably going to get. Well, Holly, you know what, man? Obviously she wants me to be better, and obviously she wants. Oh, okay, great. So let me ask you a question. If her car broke down and she needed oil, okay, she needed oil in her car, okay, and you said, well, hold on, babe, just put water in it until you get to the house. what would she tell you? No, because we could create a worse issue by not just handling it the way it needs to be handled, right? Cool. So obviously, if we don't fix this now, is it going to get better or worse? So what you're trying to do in trying to do it on your own is put a Band-Aid over something that needs stitches. Does it make sense? So if we don't fix it today, you obviously said it's going to get worse. So what is the real reason you don't want to get started in a program that will fix your issues, especially if you've communicated you're not the only one it benefits? And be quiet. Let me tell you what's going to end up happening, okay? And this is where I stopped this video because it's a whole different objection that's going to come. You're going to find out it's not about the spouse in the first place. It always leads back to the money. It's always the money. It always goes back to the money. Now, let me tell you 3 things I don't want you to do with this. 1, don't be combative. Okay? If that's how your spouse is, that's how your spouse is. Okay? There's a lot of cultural differences when we're sitting with people, and there's some cultures where, hey, I need to talk to the man. It is what it is. Okay? Don't be combative. There are some cultures where, hey, listen, the wife is not working or the husband is not working, and the bread bearer is the woman or the man. Hey, listen, I won't be combative about that. Okay? And those are another videos which I'll get into. But let me say this. If there is someone that's not working and they're a homemaker, my question would be to them, just so you know, are you between jobs or are you a stay-at-home dad or mom? That makes a difference. Because if you're in between jobs, that means your income matters in the household. So I can understand we can't afford it. But if you're telling me I'm a stay-at-home mom, I'm a stay-at-home dad, no, because before you made the decision to be a stay-at-home mom or dad, the income was already calculated, and that income is now over the household anyway. So it's not like you're waiting on extra money. Y'all have already set the budget and set. Does that make sense? So I'm more tolerant with a person that says I'm in between jobs than I am for someone that says, oh, I'm a stay-at-home mom, I'm a stay-at-home dad. Somebody's making enough money for the both of y'all. That's the only way you can allow that to happen, okay? So make sure you're listening to what people are telling you. And it's okay to cause people's bluff and to challenge them, but don't be combative, okay? The second thing is don't be emotional. Don't be emotional. When the worst thing you can say to a person that tells you no is why. Why are you telling me no? Why not? You know, that's the worst thing. That causes combativeness right off the rip. Don't do that, okay? Don't do that. All right? So 1, I don't want you to be combative. Number 2, don't get emotional. And number 3, don't be forceful. Okay? So many salespeople get the bad rep because people think, well, I felt overwhelmed. I felt like I was pressured. Well, let me tell you how you keep them from feeling pressured. Asking questions based on what they said. Whenever you tell, then you start to sell. Okay? Whenever you start telling them stuff, instead of asking questions, well, Ms. Johnson, earlier, you told me X, Y, and Z. Was that a mistake? Was that right? Was that wrong? Kind of explain that to me. Other than the fact that, well, Ms. Johnson, you must not be serious because you said that you wanted to do this and do that. Now, how you going to do this on your own? You say, I'm just telling you stuff. And now they're listening and they're processing these things. And they feel kind of like, hey, my back is against the wall. You're trying to force me to do that, okay? So listen, I'll stop there. That's how I handle a spousal objection. And no matter what they tell me, my biggest thing is I know it's a money problem. Let's get to the money problem, which is a separate total objection. I'll do a video on how to handle money objection so you can go from one objection to the final objection, which is money. But hey, if you want to learn more tips on how to be a stellar closer, please make sure you subscribe, share, like these videos, man. But more than anything, man, I need y'all to make sure that y'all do them, and I need you to put comments on them, okay? All right, man. Dr. Mays, man, I'm out of here, y'all. Peace.